Let's talk about money. I will start this by just looking at facts. Data doesn't lie. Now, South Africa has one of the highest consumer debt profiles relative to income in emerging markets. What that simply means is that 25 to 27 million South Africans are credit active, which means that they are in debt. That's in other words. If you look at, according to credit reports, 34 or 35% of all loans in South Africa are in arrears, which means that people are behind in servicing their loans. If we look at the debt to income ratio, the household debt to disposable income ratio sits at approximately 61.6 to 62.5%. What that simply means is that for every 100 rands, the average South African takes home, 62 rands is already spoken for by debt. When it comes to mortgages, we all need homes. 1.26 trillion, the largest portion of this, we are in debt. It means that we're more stressed money-wise than any other time. Now, why is this important? What I'm trying to say here is one of the biggest problems, irrespective of how many degrees we get, no matter how many seminars we go to, it doesn't matter how many books we read, it looks like we're not winning when it comes to understanding money. Now, if so many people, if 80% of our people are struggling with money, then it is the same way. Let's use an analogy of a teacher. If a teacher has 10 students in a class and he writes a question and he gives the 10 students to sit for the question, then 8 out of those 10 students fail and only 2 get it right. He clears the class. He brings in another 10 students, a fresh batch. He gives them the same question. 8 fail, 2 succeed. And he does it for the 3rd time. He brings in another fresh 10 students, gives them the same question and the same outcome. 8 fail, 2 succeed. It leaves us only with 2 scenarios. Either the students are lazy and stupid, or the question is flawed. Now, if the question is flawed, irrespective of how clever you are, you cannot get the right answer. Now, if we're struggling with money, and most of us consistently, we're trying to understand money as much as we can, but we're not getting it right, then there's a big possibility. What I want to submit in this lesson today is that the formula we've been given in money creation or wealth generation means there is something wrong. Let's look at what they've told us. They've told us that to make money, number 1, we need education plus hard work plus time, because plus time plus positive attitude equals wealth. This is the most common equation we've been given. But let's dissect it one by one. And I need you to be very intimate with this equation, and I need you to put yourself in this. Number 1 here is, we're being told about education. Education plays a very big role in who you become, but education does not necessarily mean that you're going to become rich. And if you look at where we are, we live in an age and era of specialization. Traditionally, for us to get education, it was never about school. It was purely about apprenticeship. So if I'm born in a village and my brother is a shoe cobbler that is doing well, and I want my son to be successful, and I want him to be a shoe cobbler, when he gets to 6 or 8 years old, I'll give him to my brother to work for him for the next 10, 12 years. By the time, and remember, apprenticeship wasn't easy because the person used you like a slave. But for those 10, 12 years, when you finish it, you start your own business, you already accomplished, people know you, and you are at the top of your game. So that was a very short period. You focus on one thing, You pay the physical price, you get used and abused as a slave, but straight from there, you're able to become a producer rather than a consumer. Now, if you look at our education system now, we become so specialized that even at the age of 30, most people they don't have enough skill set to be able to make money on the marketplace. I see a lot of people come to me with their degrees. They've never worked. They are in their late 20s or early 30s. They have a degree which is theoretical, and that degree they've been told, if you have this degree, you have to start at a certain level. But you've never used your degree to make money. Practically, you can't go out in your field, apply the knowledge that you had, and make money. So our education system here is completely failed because it's not practical. It's more theoretical. And if you see where we're going now, by the time you qualify, by the time you get your degree, that degree is already obsolete. It's already extinct. So much has gone on forward that by the time you have that piece of paper, nobody needs it. You don't need it yourself. Hard work. So this one takes too long. Easy 30 to 40 years for you to be able to start generating money. Hard work. Hard work makes you feel better. Hard work is good for character, but hard work does not necessarily make you rich. Because if this made us rich, then my mother should have been the richest woman in the whole world. I remember growing up, my mother was always up at 4 in the morning. We go to bed by 8. My mother is still up. She only goes to bed around 12. And she did that for the entire period that I saw her. African village women, people that work in the mines. If you've ever been into any hospital or ICU, look at the length of hours that nurses work. But are they rich? So this one here is also very questionable. Hard work, we should not confuse correlation with causation. Just because a rich person works hard doesn't mean that hard work makes you rich. He is working hard because he's already rich. But if you keep on working hard when you're not rich, without any other kind of plan or leverage, then here the only thing that this will guarantee you is fatigue. You're going to end up getting very tired. Time. This is also very questionable. Let's take a case of two people. You have Vandamava, or you have Mr. Naidu. I'll use Mr. Naidu for easy because we know Indians are very good in business. And then I'll use Sibusiso. Sibusiso has been working as a janitor at SAPS. And Sibusiso has been making 25,000 runs a year for the last 40 years. So technically, Sibusiso has made $1 million over 40 years. So technically, Sibusiso is a millionaire. Then we have Mr. Naidu that runs the IT department. He makes $1 million a year. Now, are these two people, they're both millionaires, but are they equal in terms of how rich they are? The answer is they're not. Naidu is 40 times richer than Sibusiso because Sibusiso has made money over a very long period of time. Now, take yourself, for instance. Look at how many years you've worked and how much money has gone through your hands. I can guarantee you we've all made millions. But why are we not millionaires? So it's not a time issue. When it comes to this, it depends entirely on how fast can you make money. Mr. Naidu is richer than Sibusiso because Mr. Naidu makes the money 40 times faster. So the secret to wealth here is speed. You have to be able to make what you're making in 1 year, in 1 month, and what you're making in 1 month, in 1 week, and what you're making in 1 week, in 1 day. The minute you find that formula, automatically you become wealthy, you become rich. So wealth, or definition of being rich, is not how much money you've accumulated, it's how fast you can accumulate that money. So here, speed trumps time. Positive attitude. Positive attitude, does it come before you become rich, or does it come after being rich? Are rich people, do they have a better positive attitude than poor people? That is a subject open to discussion. But a positive attitude, unfortunately, starts with your belief system. Wealth is something that you inherit in your genes. Yes, we have structural things that you can do, but how you think. If I take two people, two babies, one born in a rich family, one born in a poor family. From day one when they're born, I exchange the two kids. I take the rich child, I pass the child to the poor parents. And I take the poor child, I pass him to the rich parents. How will they grow up? Research shows you that the poor child will become rich and the rich child will become poor, because none of us are born rich or poor. We are born purely based with the environment, surroundings, and the people that bring us up. So positive attitude becomes a belief system, and a belief system in most cases is a blueprint. It's the constitution that you inherited from your early caregivers. So how do we get this? This we have to relearn. We have to unlearn. We have to unlearn everything we've learned about money, which is this formula, and relearn. So we need to change this formula, and the right formula here for wealth then becomes, automatically, if we're going to become rich here, then becomes self-education plus leverage plus speed plus network equals wealth. Which of these do you agree with? Which one do you disagree with? Share this with me. Catch you soon, and God bless.